It is now mid-January, so how are your New Year's resolutions going?
If you're like most Americans, apparently you've probably failed by now. But here's the deal, you can still get back on track. CBS 2's Alice Gaynor explains.
We hit the streets of New York City to check in with people who started off 2019 with the best of intentions.
I'm still going strong. I am, but like I said, it's still January, so you never know.
My resolution was to stop biting my nails and being in New York.
Let's see.
Oh, they're really short. Like
You've been biting them?
I've been biting them.
According to Strava, a social network for athletes, today, January 17th, is Quitter's Day, the day most people are likely to give up on their fitness resolutions.
I would say like diet, trying to eat better, get healthy. That's pretty terribly. I ate pizza today. So
usually people get really excited about the new year, setting new goals, and then self-discipline comes in, a part of where you actually have to invest time and energy.
Life coach Mariana Leeds says not to fret. You can get back on track and even do it better when you pick it back up. Step 1, visualize the outcome connected to the goal.
What size of a dress or a suit would you wear when you have achieved your goal? How would you yourself appreciate yourself when you look at yourself in the mirror?
Step 2, put it in writing.
Putting it on your calendar.
This seems to work for the successful.
It's good to make a reminder on your phone so you don't forget.
And for smokers trying to quit, be mindful.
So after each inhale, ask, do I really need to take another one? And what it does, it brings the unconscious habit of just doing this to your consciousness, making you responsible for every single inhalation that you may do. And that clearly kind of kills the joy.
Even if you keep stumbling, keep going, because tomorrow is another day. Or next year, do what this guy did. Any New Year's resolutions this year?
No.
None?
Never.
So you didn't break any?
Right.
Nothing broken here. Alice Gaynor, CBS 2 News.
I'm with that guy. No guilt.
Why set you up for disappointment?
No guilt, no problem. That's going to do it here at 5. We'll see you at 11.
Dana Tyler is here now with the news at 6 o'clock.
All right. Thank you, guys. Coming up at 6, a show of courage and a message of strength from a woman severely burned in an acid attack that was planned by a former employee.
Bad doesn't win out. Don't ever, ever, ever give up.
The big step in her fight for justice as she faces her attackers in court. Mayor de Blasio warns if the government shutdown does not end, federal workers aren't the only ones who will feel the impact. And we are on a winter storm watch. Lonnie Quinn is tracking snow tonight and then another storm this weekend.
Live from Studio 46, this is CBS 2 News at 6.
Good evening. I'm Dana Tyler. Right now on CBS 2 and streaming on CBS and New York. Alexandra Dyer wanted to be in court today as one of the people responsible for attacking her with acid was sentenced for the crime. Dyer will carry the scars for the rest of her life, but she also has forgiveness in her heart. Exclusive tonight, CBS 2's Dave Carlin talks with her about her inspirational outlook on life.
That's a great photo. And this was at a girlfriend's house on her birthday, and she took a picture of me.
Alexandra Dyer, with photos of herself before her life was forever changed. August 19th, 2015, when a stranger threw acid on her. Now in court on sentencing day, she had not only those photos from happier times, but also these.
That's pretty gruesome, that first day, you know? Pretty tough stuff.
Post-attack images, so disturbing we are blurring them. She and prosecutors made sure inside the courtroom, where cameras were prohibited, they were placed inches under the noses of Jerry Muhammad, who pleaded guilty to attacking her, and co-defendant Kim Williams, who confessed she ordered him to do it.
Here is your handiwork, and look what you've done to a life.
The two did not even glance at the photos and did not say a word, which did not seem to faze their victim, her resolve strong as steel, not shedding a tear, as she described losing her eyebrows, lashes, and eyelids, with scar tissue that restricts her mouth and prevents her ever growing her hair long. The reason for the attack was Dyer had uncovered that Williams was stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from a nonprofit organization in Queens, where Dyer was Williams' new boss.
But there were very serious financial misdeeds that were occurring.
She told the court about her strong faith, becoming Reverend Dyer long before the attack, and that it does not allow her to hate them. Dyer says about the defendants, she forgives, but she does not forget, and came here for justice.
Bad doesn't win out.
The sentence is 17 years in prison for Williams. Muhammad's sentencing is February 20th. He's expected to get the same. Dyer says this closes a chapter, moving forward with a message for anyone feeling hopeless.
There's always someone or something that can help you come back.
She left the courthouse surrounded by loved ones, many of whom read aloud to her when her eyes were sewn shut. In Kew Gardens, Queens, Dave Carlin, CBS 2 News.
We are on storm watch tonight as we brace for 2 snowstorms. There's a winter storm watch that's been issued for much of our area, and preparations are now underway. Tonight's snow, just a taste of a heavier storm hitting us this weekend. Let's get details from Lonnie Quinn in our weather center, tracking everything. Lonnie.
Okay, Danny, you talk about, just a taste of things to come, and that's that first storm tonight. The first storm tonight is just starting to push a couple of snowflakes close to our area. I'll give you a bigger picture here. You can get a better glimpse of what we're looking at. This is a storm that really stretches from the bulk of the storm, stretches from the Ohio Valley into Virginia. All right, that's what we're going to deal with tonight. This is nothing compared to the size of the storm that gets here late Saturday going into Sunday. It stretches from border to border, the Mexican border up to the Canadian border. Look at it, all up and down the west coast of the U.S., and that moves in here, again, late Saturday going into Sunday. That first storm that I showed you right now, and to say central Pennsylvania, will give us anywhere from a trace of snow up to 3 inches or so. The trace along the coast, south of the city, 3 inches up into the Catskills. New York City could be in that 1 to 3 inch range. As far as the winter weather alerts, it's a winter storm watch that has been issued today that goes into effect Saturday afternoon all the way until Sunday afternoon. That's for that much bigger system. I'll have some numbers on that in just a bit. Dana, let's go back to you.
Okay, Lonnie, thank you so much. Today, with more snow coming, the city's sanitation and emergency management commissioners got out in front of it, trying to make sure the city response is not a repeat of last November's snow that just paralyzed the city. CBS 2's Jessica Layton has more from Lower Manhattan.
I'm not going to make promises. What I can tell you is we're better prepared for it, and we're doing more.
City agencies still feeling the heat after the hot mess of a response to this storm in November. They know the pressure is on to do better starting tonight.
So we are prepared to go bigger than a foot of snow. We are expecting a challenging event.
That's because it's not one storm, but 2. And the back and forth change from snow to rain and rain to snow Saturday into Sunday, plus plummeting temperatures could be a huge problem.
I am telling you right now, for the event over the weekend, you should not be on the road.
During an afternoon news conference, the commissioners of the Sanitation Department and the Office of Emergency Management acknowledged lessons learned after the storm 2 months ago totally caught them off guard. An accident on the George Washington Bridge crippled traffic for miles. Plows couldn't get through. The roads were a dangerous mess. The mayor says whatever the National Weather Service says for accumulation, they're going to multiply by 4 to prepare.
As the WHO once said, we won't be fooled again.
This time, the city says it has more equipment positioned throughout the area in case of an emergency. We've already noticed the salt laid down on 57th Street.
Our intention is to begin salting at first flake tonight.
The Office of Emergency Management tells me there will be tow trucks positioned throughout the city in case there are accidents, so we don't see those huge traffic jams like we saw on the GWB in November. As to where that equipment will go, those locations are still being figured out. Reporting from Lower Manhattan, Jessica Layton, CBS 2 News.
Mayor de Blasio is sounding the alarm. He's warning New Yorkers if the federal government shutdown does not end, nearly 2 million people in the city could lose federal aid for everything from food stamps to housing. CBS 2 political reporter Marcia Kramer has more.
People who live in Harlem and other hard-pressed communities getting a scary be-prepared warning from Mayor de Blasio. If the government shutdown doesn't end by March 1st, the spigot of federal aid will dry up.
We are now entering Nothing less than a full-blown crisis.
$500 million a month in federal aid for food stamps, rental assistance, school lunches, homeless programs, and fighting opioid addiction will be lost. And according to de Blasio, back payments will probably not be made up when the shutdown ends.
In my time as mayor, this city has faced terrorist attacks, storms, natural disasters, and every time that I've stood before all of you, I've been able to tell the people of New York City that things are going to be okay. Today, I have to tell you that things are not okay.
Sitting beside a countdown clock, city officials said lost food aid alone would affect 1.6 million New Yorkers. Officials telling recipients they're getting double benefits this month and to spend carefully because there will be no check in March unless the shutdown ends.
It is a complicated message for people living on the edge.
Mr. Mayor, are you being realistic or pessimistic, preparing people or scaring people?
You know, Marcia, it's a very fair question, but I think you'd be the first to say if I held back this information and weeks later the worst was going on, you'd say, why didn't you tell us sooner?
In Harlem, where many depend on food stamps and other aid programs, many say they're scared. How worried are you?
A lot, because I don't get a lot. That would mean that no food, no nothing for the baby?
It's not just people losing out on food stamps, you know. It's people who's losing out on their medication, their coverage, rent. It's a lot of people that depend on the government.
I don't know how a lot of people are going to eat.
Well, meanwhile, Governor Cuomo said the state is taking steps to help furloughed federal workers get unemployment benefits. He ordered the Department of Labor to accelerate the application process. Some, he said, may also be eligible to get food and rental assistance. And state power companies have agreed to implement relaxed payment practices so people won't lose heat and electricity. Dana.
So many different edges of this thing.
There are.
So bad. Thank you, Marcia. There's a deal to raise the minimum wage in New Jersey. Democrats in the state legislature say they've agreed on a plan to bump up the minimum wage to $15 an hour by the year 2024. If it is approved, the current $8.85 hourly rate would go up to $10 by July 1st. It would then go up $1 more each year until it hits $15 in 2024. Still ahead here on CBS 2 and on CBSN New York, our around-the-clock streaming service, we are getting our first look at a man police say is wanted for killing a gas station worker. Over $22. The manhunt underway on Long Island for the accused hit-and-run driver. Plus, no more tax on driver back. Taxi drivers and other drivers for hire outraged about a potential surcharge they say will hurt their bottom line. The small victory they got today in their lawsuit over the policy. The CBS Evening News is coming up at 6:30. Jeff Glor, there's your music, is joining us right now.
Well, thank you. Right on cue. Appreciate that, Dana.
For a second, I thought maybe you're not there.
I'm here. Always for you, Dana.
Thank you, Jeff.
Here's a look at some of the stories we're working on tonight. President Trump fires back at Speaker Pelosi as the shutdown showdown hits a new level. A watchdog group says thousands more children may have been separated at the border, and a secret military mission with a surprise ending. It's all ahead on the CBS Evening News.